You know how to build websites, right? You may have built CSS battles, coded up front-end mentor challenges, or put together projects for your portfolio. But what about all those websites built for multi-million-dollar companies that could get hundreds of thousands of views every day? These websites are just one part of a giant marketing machine with a single purpose: to find customers and sell products for the company. Now, how are those websites made? Now, I'm not a marketing expert, but I did work as a web developer for almost 10 years in advertising and digital marketing. So I've built a lot of websites and landing pages over the years. And I've had to work with a lot of different departments that all contribute to what the final website becomes. So in this video, I'm going to give you a look behind the curtain so that you can see the process of how a website gets made in the marketing world, so that you'll know what to expect when working in a production environment. Sound good? Let's get into it. Alright, we're going to start with a hypothetical company. It's called Sparkle Pop, and they make a drink that comes in a can that contains all the nutrients that you need in a full meal. But to sell their product, the company needs people to know about it, so they've decided they need a website and a marketing strategy. Sparkle Pop is a small startup. It isn't big enough to have its own internal marketing department, so they hire an outside agency to handle all their marketing. Advertising agencies are businesses that work with other companies to help them with their branding, marketing, and sales. Now, whether the website is made internally or with an external agency, all the same steps will be followed. It's just a matter of who will be doing the work. In marketing, there are a lot of different skill sets and departments involved. We'll touch on each of these later, but from a high-level view, they may include branding, UX or user experience design, UI or user interface design, web development, copywriting, photo and video, social media, email, ads, analytics, and more. Now, as you might imagine, there are a lot of people involved in this process, which means there's going to be a lot of emails, phone calls, and meetings flying back and forth. So to coordinate everything and guide the website along on its journey, you need a PM or project manager. The PM's job is a complicated balancing act. They need to make sure the project gets done on time, but along the way, they also have to manage the expectations of the client and make sure the employees doing the work have everything they need. One of the first things the agency needs to do is determine Sparkle Pop's brand identity, which includes things like how the company wants to be perceived by the public and visual decisions like designing a logo, choosing a color scheme, and their overall visual style. Now, once the brand identity and style has been set, the agency can start planning, designing, and building the website. This is a long, multi-step process that goes through different departments on the way to becoming a real live site. And each step needs to get approval by the team and, of course, the client before it can move on to the next step. And almost always, there will be feedback for changes that the agency employee needs to implement. So in the website production process, one of the first steps is the UX or user experience design. The job of the UX designer is to make sure that potential customers who visit the website have a positive experience that ideally leads to a sale. One thing they'll do is to plan out a user flow, which is a map of all the steps that they want the website visitor, the user, to take. They'll also design the wireframe of the website, which looks like an extremely basic web design. It's meant to plan out where all the different functional components of the website should go on both desktop and mobile. We're really keeping it basic at this step so that it's easier to make changes to the UX design before it goes to the next step. Now, once the wireframe gets final approval, it gets handed off to the UI or user interface designer. The UI designer takes the wireframe with all of its functional components and then creates the visual design of the website. Essentially, they make the website look good by adding colors, typography, and imagery. They also need to make sure that interactive elements like buttons and forms are both functional and aesthetically pleasing. Once the design is finished and gets client approval, it will get handed off to the web development team. And this is the stage where what's previously just been design files becomes a real website. If the website is a large project, there may be multiple developers working on it on both back and front end. If it's not too big, then you might have a solo developer doing everything. In the development stage, there are a lot of challenges to tackle. When building the UI, the developer needs to make sure that the final website looks as close to the design as possible. And this can be very tricky, especially in making the website responsive so that it looks good on mobile, tablet, and desktop. They also need to make sure that the user interactions on the site look and feel good. These could be things like button hover states, scroll animations, and filling out forms. And on the back end, they need to make sure that data is both getting sent and received properly. For example, saving user data from filling out a contact form. And if they're using a CMS or content management system to display all the content on the pages, they need to make sure that's working too. Now, a lot of times in the development process, the text content or copy, as well as the photo and video content are all getting created at the same time that the website is being coded. So a lot of times the developer will have to put in temporary text and images on the site while it's being built. You've probably seen lorem ipsum text before, which is Latin placeholder text. And it's really handy because you can see what the website will look like even when you don't have the final copy yet. And writing beautiful copy is not an easy task. Every word needs to be carefully written, from catchy headlines to landing page copy that convinces you to click that buy button. And in addition to the website, they also need to write copy for social media posts, blog posts, and emails. And that's all just for the text content. The agency also needs to create all the visual assets, the photos and videos that are used not only for the website, but for social media and emails too. Once the website is built and all the final text, photo, and video content has been added, it goes through final QA or quality assurance, and any bugs get fixed. Once everything looks good, and they get final approval from a client, of course, the website is ready to go. However, SparklePop can't just build a website, deploy it to the internet, and then sit back and just wait for people to find the website and buy their drinks. There's actually a ton of strategy that goes into getting people to discover SparklePop and decide to come to the website. One way they can do this is by running ads. These could be still ads that go on websites, audio ads for Spotify and radio, and video ads for TV, YouTube, and social media. All these ads are designed to get displayed where the company thinks potential customers are, and then tries to get them to click a link to go to the website. Another strategy is content marketing, where the company creates content that is helpful for their customers to attract them to the website. For example, SparklePop could create blog posts or social media content that talk about productivity and even tech in general. The company could also make things even more interesting by creating freebies like productivity guides or discount coupons, but users can only get access to those freebies by signing up for SparklePop's email list. This is called email marketing, and it gives the company a list of people who've expressed interest in SparklePop, which means that they are hopefully more likely to buy the product than the more random people that they might reach with ads and content marketing. This way, SparklePop can send emails out anytime there's a new flavor or if they're running a sale. Now, when launching the new website, the agency needs to make sure that everything goes live at the same time. Because if you start an ad campaign before the actual website is live, then you're going to have a lot of people clicking on a broken link, which would be really bad for SparklePop. So everything, the website launch, ads, emails, and social media posts all need to start at the right time. Once everything is good to go and they press that big red launch button, the website is now live and on the internet. And hypothetically, all the work should be done and complete, but in my experience, there's always at least one bug that no one noticed until after the website goes live that needs to be urgently fixed. But all that aside, once everything is tweaked and finalized and everyone's happy, the team can sit down and take a breath. Except for one team, analytics. Now remember all those ads, TikToks, emails, and blog posts that a ton of time and money went into creating? If they're doing it right, the company will be tracking which strategies are working the best at getting visitors to the website, and even more so, converting into customers by buying cases of SparklePop. By using different URLs tagged with different variables, the team can determine exactly which ad, video, or other link the customer clicked on to go to the website. So once everything is live, there's going to be a lot of data coming in that needs to be sorted and analyzed, often with lots and lots of spreadsheets. The analytics team can put all those together, and they'll be able to track which strategies are working and which are not. This will help the company make decisions and be more efficient with their money. So as you can see, a company's website is just one part of a big marketing machine designed to find customers and lead them to buying the product. And if you're trying to learn web development in order to get a job in the industry, check out my course where I'll teach you step by step how to build and deploy a responsive front-end website from scratch. The link is down below. So I hope you found this video informative and helpful. Let me know down in the comments what you thought, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.